Good morning. So for me, it's morning. I don't know what time it is in your world or whoever's watching it. Hopefully, this is going to be a good video for you guys because it's an update for the 2019 Chevy Silverado that I've been working on for quite some time. The previous video that you saw, technically I had this car for around 4 or 5 months. So I uploaded or did the video, then uploaded it long after I've already had it. But she's almost done. She is that direction. I'm gonna show you around, walk around the vehicle, show you what I've done. There's other things that I'm going to do with it, such as cold air intake and exhaust. Not too loud. I still want to have it a little bit stock form, not too much drone to it. So that is it for now, as in customization wise. But she turned out pretty good. I still have to buff it a little bit more. There's spots that I missed from buffing, but I honestly think she turned out pretty well for what I've done. It did take a lot of man hours to finish her up. I have another project right here. She's pretty bad. I'll show you guys that video after I finish this one. Off track, I'll start the video. I don't want to do any of that fancy stuff that YouTubers do with their videos. I'm a simple guy. I do simple builds. No Ferraris or Lamborghinis or any of that. Maybe in the future, but for now, we're just sticking with trucks and sports cars. So let's start the video. So, you guys ready? All right, let's see this. Bam! Here she is. All her glory, a lot of hours, a lot of late nights working on this thing, and she turned out pretty good. I'm really happy on how she looks. Talking about the front end, let's do that. Front end. Aftermarket hood, this is functional, not just for looks. Aftermarket grille, that is it. Everything else on the vehicle is from GM. Literally, nothing is aftermarket, just these two. The hood, because I put an aftermarket hood, I did a cold air intake, AFE I believe it's called. So I'm going to be doing a video on that, but this is just part 2 of the video. So there's part 1 when you saw the car, how damaged it was, and this is part 2, and that is it. The other videos are different videos, like if I do the exhaust that I'll be doing, if I do the cold air intake, that's different videos from part 1 and part 2. The hooks, I did red, and you can see where I messed up on. I'll fix that today. But the red I used, all the red that you'll be seeing, is called hot red. So that is the red that I used. Or is it hot red or race red? Something like that. The coloring, same thing. Inside, outside is a gunmetal gray, and inside is the red. You can't see it in camera, but that's how it looks. Going to the wheels were so damaged from the burnt that I couldn't save them, so I decided to actually paint them, and this is the paint that I use, and I believe again it's called a gunmetal gray. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. That's the hot red that I used, or race red. Tires I haven't done because the car literally has 13,000 miles, so why would I change the tires right now? This is what they look like. I was going to go with black, everything black, but I was just like, that's just cliche. I want something different. Oh, I did the back calipers as well, red. The back, there was a lot of choices with the Chevrolet sign. There was chrome, there was just red, there was black. This is the one I chose to go to. It feels like plastic, but it feels like glass, but it's plastic. Just the feel of it is pretty awesome. So it turned out pretty good. I'm not gonna put another badge in the back where it says Chevrolet because that's just stupid. Chevrolet and Chevrolet, like you don't need 2 signs in the back telling people what kind of car you're driving. The bed was burnt really badly, and I used Raptor Bed Liner. I did a lot of research, and people from online said that the Raptor Bed Liner is almost as good as the factory bed liners that they use. So that's the side profile. Nothing really any different. The paint turned out pretty good. I am going to be buffing it today, so it makes it more shiny. The top plastic piece on the bumper, that's new because the original one was just too melted to save. These pieces right here, the dealership was trying to charge me way too much for them, so I decided to keep them for now. The top pieces, 1, 2, 3, I bought because also again way too damaged to fix or do anything to them, so I had to replace them. That's the different look of the wheels. I actually really like them. I like the design and how they look and how they perform. I don't want to go too off-road worthy on them, so Z71 real, not just putting any badges on it. Let me go in the inside. Nothing has changed, just cleaned it up a little bit, took out the carpets. I'm going to be washing them. So little damage on the dash because the windshield, once it cracked, it fell on the dash and it made these marks all over. So all the chrome pieces except the badging, this one I'm gonna leave. So this I'm gonna be wrapping it either shiny black or carbon fiber, and then that piece right there, I don't like any chrome on my truck, especially if it's black. Oh, let me show you again, all the doors open perfectly, the sensors perfectly. This door, for some odd reason, the linkage didn't work, so I had to go to the dealership and buy that one new. So I had to open it from the inside. Ugh. Yep, there it is, AFE power. I also searched a lot on these models, the new style Chevrolet Silverados, and people actually like them. So there's other companies that I could have went with, but they were around $600 to $700. This one I bought it for $400. There's even cheaper ones for $150. No name brands, they're just a cold air intake. But the reason why I chose to put a cold air intake into this truck is because of the hood. If this wasn't functional, there's just no reason for me to put it. The original one works perfectly fine, but because this is actual functional, goes exactly where the factory intake goes, I decided to go with the cold air intake because it just makes sense. But overall, for as many hours that I put into this truck, all the hard work, all the materials, paint, labor, everything, if you're doing it by yourself, it's worth it. You're saving a lot of money, maybe 70% of the value of the car if you go to the dealership, maybe even more than that. But if you're buying a car that's been burnt and you're like taking it to a body shop, do not do it. You will literally put more money into it than if you would go to a dealership with a warranty, because you have to remember, this is not a clean title anymore. This is a rebuilt title, but I already did the paperwork. It passed state inspection. Everything is good. So when they do the state inspection, they literally look at it from top to bottom, where I live in Kansas City. So, but for what it is, a 2019, the exterior, Chevy should have done a little bit more better job, especially with Dodge, how their exteriors is. Interior, same thing. They should have done a little bit more better. Once I get into the truck, I feel like it's a 2013, maybe 2012. I don't really feel any difference that it's a brand new, literally from the ground up truck. With all the money that they spent, they should have done better. Dodge wins with exterior and interior. This is just my opinion. Everybody has their own. I'm not biased with trucks.